in the room. Come on in the room. I can't. I listen. I can't do the doctors and my doctors. I can't do it. I'm over that. But we are in the room. We are live. It's the Cream City crossover. The Cleveland Cavaliers have defeated the Milwaukee Bucks with some late game heroics from Donovan Mitchell. 114-113. The Bucks lose it. Again, Donovan Mitchell, midi, pull up. You know it, one-on-one Gary Trent Jr., bottom of the barrel. He putting it in over him. Can't do nothing about it. It's the Guru Trey Crosby III.
Justin.
Yeah. No Chris the Content King tonight. He's doing some work. Your boy John Tyus is out. He's doing some things. I think he's at a dinner of some kind. But you can get at us right here on the YouTube chat, in the YouTube chat. What up, chat? We'll take some of your responses soon. I know you have a lot to say. I know you're thinking a lot. You can get at me on the Twitter at TCIIIESQ. Talk to us there. 114-113. Cleveland Cavaliers 7-0. Milwaukee Bucks 1-5. You can't do it, man. I don't have much to say about this basketball team. Marcus Johnson said it on the post game. There are no moral victories. Kanye told it to you too. Moral league victories are for minor league coaches. Doc Rivers is a minor league coach. End of the story. So that might be a moral victory for him because he's a minor league coach. We got a bunch of bums on this team. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm done. I don't have nothing else to say. I don't feel good about this. If you sat up here and watched the game, oh, the Bucks only lost by 1 point. Oh, Dame hit 10 threes and that. If you feel good about this, you are. If you feel good about this basketball team, if you feel good, man, they were competitive tonight. No, the Cleveland Cavaliers were coming off a back-to-back. That's what they were doing. They were coming off a back-to-back. They walked in 5-serve form and took it over. The Bucks up 16 in the first quarter. This game shouldn't have been close. The heroics down the stretch between Dame. Listen. Dame and Giannis are. Dame and Giannis, y'all go. Y'all go somewhere because I ain't talking to either one of y'all guys. Y'all fellas good with me. Y'all go. Y'all ain't gotta listen to this. Everybody else sit down. Cause what you did was it was an abomination of basketball. Hey, you know what? Torian Prince, you go ahead with him too. Torian Prince, you go ahead and go with Giannis and Dame. I'll let you slide. Everybody else, sit down. You in classes in session. Y'all were terrible. Terrible. I don't know what to say. Changes are in order. Things need to happen. The Cleveland Cavaliers came off a back-to-back and won this basketball game, folks. That can't happen. So no, I don't feel good. If this was a regular game, and I may feel a little okay about this. But this wasn't regular. This is a back-to-back. You're up 16 in the first quarter. You lost this game because Gary Trent Jr. can't defend. Gary Trent Jr. can't hit a shot. He hit one shot on. I don't know what he finished with. He hit one shot that I remember. He hit a three. He hit a big-time three. I give him that. Yeah, and guess what? He only hit 3 points tonight. So, yeah, that's all I remember. He was 1 for 10 tonight. 1 for 10. Terrible. The two main culprits tonight, Gary Trent Jr. and then Bobby Portis, Bobby Portis is as bad as I've ever seen him. He's regressed. He has regressed. Oh, my God. I'm about – please stop me. I'm about to get very upset. I'm just looking at the box score. The entire starting lineup for the Milwaukee Bucks was a plus. The entire starting lineup was a plus. Bobby Portis minus 14. Donovan Mitchell was a minus 11 tonight. Jared Allen was a minus 15 tonight. Darius Garland was a minus 2. Evan Mobley was a minus 2. The entire Cleveland Cavaliers starting lineup outside of Dean Wade was a minus. The Cleveland Cavaliers, again, Donovan Mitchell hit a great shot at the end. The Cleveland Cavaliers won this game because of their bench. Sam Merrill outscored our entire bench. Let's do a game recap. Let's get into the game recap. I'm pissed off at the highest levels of pissivity tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 34, 16, and 9. He almost messed around and get a triple-double. Excellent game. 15 and 27 from the field. Can't play no better. Brook Lopez, 6.6 boards. Torian Prince, 16 and 6. That's how you play as a role player, Torian. So if we've got something going with Torian Prince, I think 4 or 5 from 3, 6 or 7 from the field. We got something. Gary Trent Jr., 3 points. 1 board, 1 assist, 1 steal. Lost all over the place. 1 for 7 from 3. Horrible. and still ended up a +8 because he was out there for 34 minutes. Damian Lillard plays 38 minutes tonight, 41, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 13 of 24, 10 of 15 from 3. You losing a game where Damian Lillard's 10 of 15 from 3? And oh, by the way, and again, I'm not trying to blame Damian Lillard at all, but we lost the game by 1 point. And everybody, all the comments I see, everybody always got smoke for Giannis missing free throws. We lost by 1. Dame was 5 from 8 from the line. I'm not blaming him, but I'm just pointing it out. And again, Dame missing 3 free throws. Giannis was 4 for 7. Dame can't be 5 for 8. That's unacceptable, Dame Lillard. But I give you a break because you went 10 of 15 from 3. Andre Jackson Jr., great minutes tonight. He put up 3 points, 15 minutes. They got to control him offensively. Offensively, he gets a little wild, a little reckless run around. He almost got to stay out of the way. Like, he got a couple offensive fouls on some ball screen. He almost just got to get out of the way on offense. Did hit 3, though. Bobby Portis, 10 points, 8 boards. Sucks. 10 points on 10 shots. You suck. DeLon Wright, trash. Pat Connaughton, run around, trash. On Cleveland side of things, Donovan Mitchell, 30 points, 3 boards, 4 assists. Darius Garland, 11 points, 10 assists. Evan Mobley, 14 points, 5 assists. Dean Wade, 8 points. Jared Allen, double-double, 15 and 12. Sam Merrill, 17. Isaac Okoro, 13 and 8. But this game, at the end of the day, it was the bench that was bad. But, Damian Lillard was, shot for shot, he was excellent. You saw him hit, I think he hit that bucket with, how much time? I don't know how much time late. 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, something like that. And I was telling my wife as I watched the game, I was saying, hey, you can't settle, Dame. I want Dame to take the shot. Don't bail him out with no fade. I know he can hit him, but don't bail him out with no fadeaway 3. Don't force something up. Should have been a 2-man game, or you do what you do. Get to your spot. Nothing wrong with the mid-range. Nothing wrong with mid. And Damian Lillard did exactly that. The problem was, you had old bum. I'm trying not to cuss tonight. I'm sure I will at some point, but I'm going to try hard not to. Gary Trent Jr. And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't bad defense, GTJ. It wasn't. But you poke the ball away, you got to get up in his space. You got to get all up in his space once you poke that ball away. But I know he didn't want to get blown by. I know, but you got to get up in his grill when you knock the ball away. I don't. You diving something. You got to do that, and you didn't do that. There were just so many moments. It comes down to the end of the game, fourth quarter crunch time. But there were so many moments where the Bucks should have won this basketball game. It shouldn't have come down to that. Thank you, Giannis, Dame, for doing what you did in the crunch, but it should not have come down to that. We're gonna talk about Bobby Portis. We're gonna talk about this guy. It should not have come down to what it came down to. Bucks was 114-113. That's what I saw. Justin, what'd you see?
Absolutely, man. When you're up 16 points, like you just mentioned, on a team playing back-to-back, they're already gassed. They had to travel late, ESPN game, so it didn't start at their normal 6:30 or 6:45 Eastern time, whatever these Cleveland games start at. They're a little bit earlier, I believe. Cleveland got in kind of late, got to the hotel, hung around Milwaukee today, and came out and was getting skunked. Like T. Prince, amazing first half. Everybody, even Brooke, like, you're out here struggling with the shot. Like someone mentioned in the chat, his 3 has been off, but he still found a way to impact that game. And I don't believe much in his plus minus stuff, but he was a plus. And then you look, and all of a sudden we're down 7 with a goofy lineup on the floor. That 7-0 run is all due to that lineup on the floor. We can't afford to take possessions off with the way this basketball team is playing this year. Hey, man, the last few nights I've been upset. I've been pissed. I ain't even pissed now. Like, I'm just like, man, is there any possible other way we can find to lose the basketball game? I think our guys got to, Giannis got to stop being tough, man. He got to stop being a player from the 80s and 90s, man. He got to start flopping more, man. You got to flop in order to get a foul call in this league. And this man refuses to do it, and he goes to the bucket, and he plays good, strong basketball and does everything that a basketball player should do, and they not rewarding that dude. End of the game, Garrett Allen straight up hacked him. There's no foul call. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason why we lost the game. We lost the game solely because of everybody else other than the 3 players you mentioned. Gary Trent, it's not just the missed threes. If you're going to miss threes, you got to find a way to impact the game some other way. You're not playing good defense, and you're even missing layups. You're missing bunnies. You're missing floaters. I'm at a loss for words, man. I'm beyond frustrated, but I should have told you, man. I should have told y'all boys on the thing last week, man. Tough night for the state of Wisconsin. Badgers get blown the hell out. Bucks play a great 47 and a half minutes and managed to, well, no, I shouldn't say. They had about, I'd say 38 great minutes, and the other 10 were pretty bad. But every year during my birthday weekend, every team from the state of Wisconsin loses. So anybody in our chat, if you're a Packers fan, go ahead and take that L tomorrow.
Jordan Love going to be back for the Packers tomorrow. We know that. But yeah, man, I mean, all the things you talked about. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights says, hey, what up? Josh Davis says, much better effort and game from the Bucks tonight. Need to keep playing that way so the season doesn't get away from them before Middleton even comes back. No, I mean, it was much better effort, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. And Middleton needs to come back. This is what I was talking about. Y'all keep doing this mess with me about, Chris Middleton, he just got to be back for the playoffs, and he'll be back. Dog, this team ain't good enough, fam. This team is not good enough to where you can sit around and play. They need him now, and what's going to happen is the same thing that happened last year. Giannis played 39 minutes tonight. Dame played 38 minutes, 34 seconds tonight. The same thing that I'm telling you. And then people, and the funny thing is, people go and blame Giannis. Oh, Giannis, he was hurt. Why Giannis got hurt? Y'all worry about Chris. Y'all worry about the wrong guy. No, Giannis, it's very easy. If Giannis could sit out half the year and ramp up for the whole season, that'd be nice too. And just play in April, that'd be nice. And wouldn't that be real nice to kind of halfway do your job and then show up and do the Joel Embiid and try to show up in at the end? That's what Chris Middleton wants to do. We're not good enough for that. And what's going to happen is the same thing that happened last year, where Giannis Giannis plays 40 minutes a night and Dame plays 40 minutes a night, and then Chris come back looking all spry and put up 20 in the playoffs, and then Giannis and Dame get an injury, a non-contact injury, or whatever it is that happens, and it's because they carried the weight the entire season. Y'all, I don't know, for whatever reason, y'all have gotten people. I'm not saying y'all, but I'm saying people have gotten into this narrative that you just come and play at the end. When has that ever worked? It didn't work for the Brooklyn Nets. It didn't work for the Clippers try to do it. It ain't work for the Philadelphia 76ers. It does not. You don't just run through things. Just, we're just going to run it and we'll play. It don't work like that. You got to play as a team. You got to get together. It didn't work for the Heatles year one. You don't just get together and just run everybody together and start playing. That's not how it goes. People have talked about already how many games Giannis, Dame, and Chris have played together. Y'all don't think that means nothing for continuity? I get it, you want to be healthy, but you got to play together. This team has got to gel. They got to mesh. Forget gel, but I'm just saying from a gelling standpoint and from a health injury standpoint, they need to play together. The Bucks will not be 1-5. I'm sorry, the Bucks will not be 1-5 if Chris Middleton's playing. And no, you shouldn't need Chris Middleton for all these games, but I'm just saying he's got to get on the floor, period. He's got to be on the floor. I'm tired of losing. I want everybody to play, and if you can't play, you got to get up out of here. Go ahead, Justin. My bad.
No, absolutely he has to be on the floor. The reason why him and Giannis have that chemistry, and he knows where Giannis is on the floor, and Giannis knows where he is on the floor, because they played together for so many years. Dame hasn't played with him. This isn't whoever we had before. Taurean Prince hasn't played with him. Gary Trent Jr. hasn't played with him. And, man, it's so frustrating, man. And normally I'm the one on here, and I want to sing the praises and just, hey, we're going to hold out hope, and Doc is going to guide us through it. I really hope he does, man, but I saw off coaching night from him. We can't afford to have these off nights. And Chris, you got to come back, man. We need you back. If Chris can change this tide needs to be changed Monday in Cleveland. We're 1-5 now. We lost umpteen. We won the first game and lost everything else since then. And we can't say it's because this and that. We have to play better. Bobby Portis, you either going to be mayor of Milwaukee, 6th man of the year, all this other stuff, man, or, hey, man. And I'm a big Bobby defender. Look, check me out. I'm a huge Bobby defender. I got the underdog snapback joint in this joint. But, bro, that
ain't worth nothing no more. Right now. That ain't worth nothing. That ain't worth nothing. No, I don't know whatever you got signed by Bobby. I'm just joking. But whatever signed by, it ain't worth a damn thing. He is. I wish I had 2 extra hands. I give him 4 thumbs down. He is as bad. He's bad. What underdog, all that. Hey, nah. You have been rated properly, sir. You are no longer the underdog. You should be under the table. That's how bad you've been. I don't want to hear none of all that underdog bull. I don't want to hear that. All that crying idiot come out and playing a bad game, then you go foul somebody all hard because you slapping at the ball, slapping and getting fouls because you missing shots. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of all that tough guy stuff. I'm sick of that stuff. Hit a shot. Play. How about be tough and box somebody out? That's tough to me. That's being tough. When you put a body on somebody and go get a rebound, that's tough. I like that kind of stuff. Why don't you make an extra pass? That's a tough play. Being selfless and not being Bobby Blackhole. That's tough to me. And tough ain't I'm huffing and puffing, blow your house down. That ain't tough. That ain't tough. I said all that tough guy act. I'm sick of it. I want to see winning basketball. Somebody in chat. Go ahead.
I normally got rebuttals for that stuff, man, but like I'm at a point where it's nothing I can say. But I tweeted it out earlier during the game, bro, and I was like, it's gonna take hero ball from Dame and Giannis to win this game. We should, and it's like that's where this team is trending towards. Back to your point as far as resting guys and making it, when you look across the mainframe of sports and you look at your baseball teams that get the bye, they usually don't make the World Series. Your football teams that make the bye, they're usually, and what do they say? Oh, they're rusty once it gets to the playoffs. And now our Bucks may be rusty when it gets to this playoffs if we get there at this point. I know we're only 6 games in. We're not trying to overreact. But the thing is that you can't just turn the switch for getting these loose balls. We were out-hustled again tonight. I don't know how many offensive rebounds they had, but it seemed like every loose ball, the Cleveland Cavaliers were on the floor or getting it. Okoro was on the floor, and he got that timely one in the last 2 minutes of the game. And gosh darn it, man, how many times we going to let Sam Merrill shoot the ball and kill us? He can't do nothing but shoot. Damn, I wish we had him instead of AJ Green right now, though.
I wish AJ Green would play. 10 offensive rebounds for the Cleveland Cavaliers. AJ Green could play over Pat Connaughton. I mean, Pat Connaughton did nothing. Again, you look at this bench, and again, Giannis and Dame, we're going to get to the positives in a second because there were positives tonight between Giannis and Dame. But you look at this bench, and outside of Andre Jackson Jr., I mean, it was bad. Bobby Portis, DeLon Wright, and Pat Connaughton were all horrible. They were bad. And Andre Jackson Jr., you mentioned impacting the game without scoring. Those hustle plays. And again, he only ends up with 1 rebound, 1 assist. But when he was in, just the way he defended Garland, the way he defended Donovan Mitchell, some of the things that he did, just being active all over the floor. He did those things, and it was impressive tonight. Bobby Portis was, again, on offense and defense. How many times in the fourth quarter did I see him? He lost his guy on back screens a couple times. That fourth quarter, you talked about Doc Rivers, Justin. That fourth quarter, the lineup that Doc Rivers started the game off, it was. I didn't understand. I tweeted out when it happened. I said you're trying to win this game in the fourth quarter, and you put that lineup out there. That's a decision. That is a decision. And again, how much longer? I'm not. You people, you probably think I'm joking, but I'm not. Marjan, AJ Green, Liam Robbins, Tyler Smith, Ryan Rollins. I'm not joking at all. They need to get a shot. Like I'm not joking about Ryan Rollins. Again, maybe he can't play, but he can't be no worse than Pat Connaughton right now. Maybe he can't be no worse than DeLon Wright. AJ Green, maybe he can't be no worse than Pat Connaughton and DeLon Wright. You can't be. Liam Robbins, I don't know what maybe he will put a body on somebody and go get a rebound instead of what I see Bobby Portis do. I don't know. Because the Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez minutes when they're in the game together, every single time, Brook and Bobby, when they are in the game together, it does not work out. That's when the Bucks were up 16 points, and then immediately bring Bobby in for Brook Lopez. The Bucks, I think they finished the quarter, it was 38-30 at the end of the first. That's how it finished because Bobby came in the game and instantly everything about the basketball team went down. From energy, from effort, from defensive prowess, from assignment and alignment, everything went down when Bobby Portis came in. And again, that combination of Brook and Bobby is not good. It just isn't. Josh Davis says Trent Jr. needs to lose minutes to Ajax or Lonnie Walker if we can get him. Bring in Lonnie Walker. Bring him in. Bring everybody in. He also says the Cavs are undefeated for a reason. We should have hired Kenny Atkinson when we had a chance. I don't disagree with that. But again, it's crying over spilled milk at this point. Niram Granham says Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo need a helping cast. 2 of the best scorers in the league. GTJ and Pat are liabilities. This game proves that Dame has to be the number 1 scoring option. Here's one thing I say on that, and Justin, you can take it back and go as you want. Only thing I say on that comment of Dame has to be number 1 scoring option. Listen, it looks good when he's 13 of 24 and 10 of 15 from 3. That's not every night. And again, that is just the case of being a jump shooter. Being a jump shooter, you're not going to shoot 67% from three every night. So there are going to be nights where he's not shooting the ball at that type of rate. Now, there are some things, and we'll talk about in a second, some things the Bucks can build on between Giannis and Dame in the two-man game that we saw that I thought was really good. I thought it was really good in the first half, and I thought they just got away with it in the second half. In the second half, I thought they played more individual, your turn, my turn. First half, I thought they really screened together well, but we'll get into that in a second. But there's going to be more, there's going to be a high amount of volatility when you have Damian Lillard because he's a jump shooter. So when you say he's got to be the number one scoring option, it looks good when he's hitting. Again, Giannis just takes much better shots, higher quality shots, because most of his shots are going to be in the paint. And again, I also say, I don't know if it's Doc or Giannis, but Giannis rarely attempted 3 points at this point. He used to take at least one a night. None tonight. He's 15 to 27, 56% from the field. So a good job from him. Took a couple jumpers, missed a couple layups he probably could have hit, including the last one. I thought there was a lot of contact, like you mentioned, Justin. But yeah, I mean that's where I'm at on that. I just don't know. We say has been when he's playing like this. Yeah, he's number one option. But Giannis is going to take a higher quality of shot, and just by the nature of their games. That's all.
For me, I don't care who's the number one scorer. If it's Taurean Prince one night, if he drops a 40 burger, as long as we start getting more points than the other team, that's all that matters. And I think that's all Giannis and Dame care about. The game's going to come. They'll alternate nights, and some nights Giannis will have it, some nights Dame will have it. It'll be just like any other duo. As far as your point about bringing those young guys in, I'm not opposed to that either. But I don't want them just to come in when we're up 30 or down 30. I want them to come in with these two superstars and let's see what they can do with them. We see guys show spurts of greatness and make good plays at the end of the game. At the end of the game when we're down a lot in meaningless minutes. But hey, I'd love to see AJ and Smith get in there at the end of the game, in the middle of the game, and like you said, Robbins. But man, we just. I mean, it's a broken record. We got to do better. Like Doc got to coach better. I think a lot of people made posts or tweets on it today as far as the fact that, and this is my last time mentioning Griffin. This is my last time mentioning Holiday. This is my last time mentioning Dante DiVincenzo. Any of these former dudes. Because they ain't here no more. And they not coming in with a cape to save us. Only person we got that can come in with a cape to save us is Chris Middleton, and we need him to come in and be cash money. It's so much stuff in this game why we should have won this game.
There's no question.
This is what we should have won. Yeah. Point blank period. Sorry, go ahead, Trey.
No, I'm just saying I agree with you. There's no question the Bucks should have won this basketball game. I mean, they played, and I'm not saying they all collectively, but the game was played well enough to win. 41 and 34. You almost had 80 points from Giannis and Dame. You really had kind of a big three because if you add in 16 from Prince, 41 from Dame, 34 from Giannis, 16 from Taurean Prince, you had enough to win the basketball game. If Gary Trent makes a couple of those shots, and again, not even all the threes, he had two runners that just easy buckets, and you just miss. It's almost like a confidence level that he doesn't have. Brook missed a big time three that he took. I think he hit one, and I think it was in the fourth too. He hit one, and then he took another one, maybe a little ill-advised. I know Marcus Johnson didn't have a problem with it, but he missed it. Giannis layup missed. I talked about Damian Lillard free throws missed. Bobby Portis had a lot of shots, had some shots he took that he probably ill-advised shots and then just misses. That's on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, Giannis on the rebound. I think it was Okoro who knocked it away from him. You got to grab that. You got to grab that. I don't think it ended up hurting. I think they got to stop anyway, but you got to grab that. I go to another dude, Gary Trent Jr. You got to be up on your man. How many times in the fourth quarter, talk about that lineup they started with, how many of the fourth quarter just got beat on ball screens on the backside? I mean, the start of the fourth quarter was just instant buckets from the Cleveland Cavaliers. We couldn't get a stop. Ball watching. I don't know what you're looking at. How many times I see Damian Lillard getting caught in? Teams are. Let's be honest again. Damian Lillard, 41 and 9. They were targeting Damian Lillard, trying to get him into matchups. He got behind Garland a lot, and again, I know Garland only ended with 11 points, but 10 assists from Garland because a lot of times Damian Lillard just got caught behind him, couldn't stay in front.
Are you cool with that last possession by the Cleveland Cavaliers? Because if you notice, when the Bucks had the ball at the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell was not on the floor. They pulled him. Do you think we should have pulled Dame and inserted whatever other defender I would be cool putting in Ajax to guard Okoro there and putting Dame off the floor because he's not a defensive stopper.
What possession? Are you talking about the possession where Gary Trent Jr. was on Mitchell at the end to win the game? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes. And Dame was on Okoro.
Well, Dame didn't end up getting put into it, so it ended up working out okay. Your question on here's my thing: if you're questioning whether or not Ajax, here's my only thing about Ajax. I don't think he's ready to play late game situations like that because he just fouls too much. And I think Donovan Mitchell is an elite player. I think he probably gets Andre up in the air, gets around him, does something, and I feel like that's probably a foul waiting to happen. And the only thing worse than Donovan Mitchell getting a pull-up jumper to win is Donovan Mitchell going to the line for 2 free throws to win the game. And I think that would have hurt you too. So,
I don't want him on Donovan Mitchell. I want him on Okoro. I want him on the off ball where Dame was guarding.
Well, and if you remember, talking about Adrian Griffin, remember there was a time last year where Griff did pull Damian Lillard in a late game situation, and Damian Lillard got very upset that it happened. Or was it Doc that did it? I can't remember who did it. Was it Griff? I can't remember if it was Griff or if that was Doc who came back and pulled him in a late game situation for a defensive possession. And I know Dame didn't like it. And Doc didn't do it again, or if it was Griff, I can't remember who did it, and I really can't remember. If somebody in the chat remembers, let me know. But it did happen at least once last year. I've been on record. I would definitely pull Dame in late game situations if he's not playing defense. Only thing in a game like this where he's cooking though, you maybe don't, just in case you get a loose ball or something like that. And you want to get, I guess the Bucks are up at that point, so you wouldn't have needed to go down and score. But yeah, I don't know. You get a loose ball, you want to get a free throw, want to get the ball to Dame. That's the only thing I could think of. Especially when he's playing at this high of a level. But I thought that again in that last situation, that's your question. You got Gary Trent Jr. I think the real question is, would you have rather had Taurean Prince on him late in the game to try to make that stop? Who was Prince on at that point?
I'm gonna say Garland.
So Prince was on guard. So yeah, would you have rather? And then I think you're right. I'm looking at. I think you're right. Then your other question is, do you send a double because Donovan Mitchell had 28 up to that point? Nobody else. Sam Merrill had 17. I don't think he was on the floor. So the next high man was Jared Allen with 15. I'm not as much worried about him with Giannis patrolling the paint. Evan Mobley. Do you send the double coming from Mobley? Do you send the double and say, I'm going to make somebody else hit the shot to beat me instead of Donovan Mitchell getting a one-on-one possession playing with Gary Trent? To me, that's your next question. Should there have been a double team that was sent out to Garland? And I don't think, to Mitchell. And I'm looking at, I think Giannis was on Niang. I think Niang was in the game. And so I understood why Giannis stunted when he saw the ball go loose, but he stayed home on Yang, which I think was the right decision. But do you pull off on somebody else and try to force Donovan Mitchell to make a play instead of making the shot?
So you would have to pull Prince because you're not going to pull Brook. I mean, it's not a bad philosophy, but and just to be clear, I don't think Gary Trent played that bad. He played that as well as he could.
He did.
Donovan Mitchell is one of the best players in this league, and he made the shot. And to dude in the chat, we're not blaming Damian Lillard for this loss. Clown. Sixers fan. The only reason we're in this game is because Damian Lillard was superhuman tonight. Like, if you're going to come in the chat, say something that makes sense. Don't come to the Bucks old and slow. We know that. Your Sixers old and hurt every year too. You don't make it out the first round either. You never made it out the first round. And your boy crying about not being in the game. You will come in here and bring smoke to us? Man, I don't know what type of coach you are, but you about just as bad as Doc Rivers.
Let's go. Let's see what's happening on Twitter. I see a lot of stuff in the chat. A lot of stuff on Twitter. Let's see what's happening on Twitter. At Eric Nolte says, first time I felt like Doc actively hurt him. Horrible rotations, especially in the fourth. Bucks still lazy on D and rebounding for long stretches. The bench stinks. The bench does absolutely stink. They just do. At Wisco Loco 11 says, Chris Middleton's inability to be healthy has caused nearly every issue this team has had since 2022. There's some truth to that. Again, you can't blame Chris for this loss. Now, he wasn't there, but Chris Middleton, I mean, he's got to play, dog. Like, I know people think, here's what we got to get out of the mindset of. We got to get out of the mindset of this team is so good, they just need to get together in the playoffs. That's dead, dog. That is dead. Get that out the way. It's over for that. We need to try to win every game that we can. We need to try to win games, period. Until we get on that type of a track, miss me with the let's round the troops up in April. Nah, you're not ready for that yet. Chris Middleton, get on the floor, play some basketball. At Drew Barrett says the season is officially cooked. He's a negative Nancy all the time. I don't care if there's 70-odd games left. This team doesn't have it. To get nearly 80 points combined from Giannis and Dame, still lose a must-win game. I don't know if it's a must-win. You're talking about must-win. There's no must-win game 6 of the season. This team is a joke. It starts with Doc and Bobby. That is true. At the Wisconsin Kid says, Bobby, Pat, Trent, Doc, sick of this shit. At Justin MKE says, tough loss tonight against a good team. I'm glad we finally competed for a full game. If Dame could stay in the game and play aggressively like he did tonight, this team could have potential. I'll read 3 more. At R_Christian says, trade 9 for a bag of basketballs. All I care. He can't be out on the court. Selfish player, and it's addition by subtraction as long as he's not on the team. At KA Forever 24 says, we're about to be the most dangerous 8th seed in NBA history. And then I'll do one more here. At Datman RJ says, Dame and Giannis have been in sync enough and have played more than well enough to win the last 4 games. GTJ and DeLon Wright have been very disappointing. Bobby and Pat are cancers to this team, and Dame and Giannis shouldn't have to average 40 apiece to win games. The others have to step up. And that is a 100% correct assessment. The others do have to step up. I want to stay right there on with that comment. That's why I read that one last. The 2-man game between Giannis and Dame. So we talked a lot about negatives. We'll get back to more negatives, but I want to talk about some of the things that I did see that were positive tonight. Giannis and Damian Lillard, 34-16-9 from Giannis, 41-4-9 from Damian Lillard. They combined for 18 assists. And again, here's the crazy thing. Again, that's like these two were all over the floor tonight doing everything possible. Both of them have 9 assists apiece. The rest of the team, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 assists combined for everybody else tonight. Giannis and Dame give you 9 assists apiece. Giannis and Dame should be going back after this game, looking at themselves and going, I mean, do you remember when LeBron basically traded everybody in Cleveland? That's what you could do here. I mean, you could almost do something like that. Guys that the Bucks don't need anymore, or have not proven themselves right now. Bobby Portis, DeLon Wright, Pat Connaughton, everybody else that hasn't played, all the young boys, and Gary Trent Jr., maybe even a Brook Lopez. Like all those guys have not done enough to say that they should to be worthy of playing with Giannis and Dame. And if you swap them out for anybody else in the league, you're looking at a team that maybe could compete. I'm looking at a Corey Kispert out in Washington. The claim is that Washington is ready and willing to make trades and ready to move guys. Well, let's get the wheels turning. Let's see what we got over there. Because Giannis and Dame need help. Both of those guys played exceptionally well tonight. Outside of the last game from Damian Lillard, he played exceptional as well this season. Again, I talked about for a second, the 2-man game between those two, Giannis setting hard screens, being unselfish. I thought first half was really good, and I thought in the second half it was a little bit more your turn, my turn, more ISOs, but it really didn't matter because they still were able to get the shots they wanted and the looks that they wanted. And I thought as well, in that third quarter, when Damian Lillard is by himself with the bench unit, even when Giannis, it's a little bit harder, I think, when Giannis is by himself with the bench unit because he relies so much more on needing space and needing to move out and do things. Dame just got to go ISO. But here's where they're going to come into problems, Justin. Once you start realizing, because even at least last year, Brooks shot the 3 better. Malik Beasley was a dead eye from 3. Mm-hmm. Once you get to the point where, damn, Gary Trent Jr. can't shoot at all. Damn, Brook Lopez, what's he going to do? You can stay home even for you. You don't have to stay home at all on those guys. And you can start to really cheat and be like, okay, I'm gonna play much more harder on Giannis on rolls. I'm gonna play much more aggressive on Damian Lillard and blitz all of his ball screen. There's no reason to stay home on Gary Trent Jr. when he's playing like he is right now. He is no threat. He's no threat to shoot the three. He's no threat to drive. He's no threat to drive and kick. He has one assist. Gary Trent is no threat to do anything at all on the floor. Why not blitz Damian Lillard on screens, play hard at the basket on Giannis, and on rolls or anything like that, force him to pass the ball, force Damian to pass, and make somebody else do anything. Because right now, nobody else has proven that they can do anything. That is going to get scary for this basketball team when that continues to happen until Chris Middleton gets back and you actually have a guy that can do some things.
Yeah, I mean, the two-man game, they were moving the ball. I thought Dame was doing a good job, not just settling for the jumper. Like, all his threes were timely good, lightly contested threes because of that two-man game. And that pick-and-roll action was amazing. Giannis was going to the bucket. They were finding Taurean Prince and that's why we were up 16, because Prince was hitting shots in the first half. And he was playing real well. And then we go to that, man, like, Gary Trent got to do what we saw him do in Toronto and what we saw him do in Portland, or it's a waste. Like, we were condemning Horst for bringing these other wing guys in, but and that goes to Jared McNeil's question: how do you guys feel about trading Middleton for multiple 3-and-D guys? That's what Taurean Prince and Gary Trent Jr. are supposed to be, and DeLon Wright. All of those are supposed to be 3-and-D guys, and none of them are 3-and-Ds. So my fear of trading Middleton for that, you trained a man that was the best man in Giannis' wedding. We talked about last show about Giannis asking for a trade. I just think that waves a right flag of toxicity if you do that. We got to get this pick and roll going like how we had in the first half. I think adding Chris into that pick and roll gives you somebody on that wing that can make the shot. And if you double or you do converge on Dame or blitz him too with Trent Jr. in the game, that's where Middleton should be able. He don't even got to go to the 3-point line. He can hit those K-mid shots in the mid-range and be good with it. But, man, these other guys, man, hate to sound like a broken record tonight, but it's all the same old stuff. Somebody else got to hoop besides Lillard, Antetokounmpo, and Prince. That's all we had hooping tonight. Ajax was pretty good, like you said earlier, in the time that he had. But these other dudes going to have to get buckets. Bobby missed shots he should make. Bobby also missed wide open threes. Brook missed a lot of wide open threes too. If you're going to be on the floor, you got to make buckets. If you ain't going to make buckets, then we got to put somebody in the game that could. So back to your previous point, put these young dudes in the game. At least give them a chance to make a bucket, because these dudes ain't hitting right now.
I'm with you. I want to see him. I want to see particularly Ryan Rollins. I think AJ Green deserves his shot to play. Even Marjan. Like, I want to see, and just because of the athleticism, I want to see those guys out there. Give them an opportunity, man. They can go out and lose games. They certainly can go out and lose games. I promise you that. They can lose games just like you can lose games with DeLon Wright, because I don't know what he's doing either. Beerhand Diarra says there should be no excuse for Giannis missing that layup. I'll say this. Was it a makeable layup? Yes, it was at the end of the game. I go back and watch that and watch just how much contact took place during that layup. And again, I know you, Justin, thought it might have been a foul. I actually may agree with the no call just because I thought Giannis initiated a lot of that contact. I thought he initiated a lot of it, and I believe it was on Evan Mobley, or was it Jared Allen? I can't remember who it was that he was trying to hit the layup over, but Giannis came with a lot of contact in his off arm, and whoever it was kind of went tit for tat with him and gave him the same contact back as much as he could before he got thrown off, because Giannis did end up with kind of an open look at the layup. But Giannis definitely threw whoever it was off of him, and that person gave him a shot too, kind of back as much as he could. And again, I think it was just a lot of momentum that Giannis had going to the basket and just couldn't get it to fall. But I think that's the only thing I said. I think there was a little more contact that you're giving him credit for when he misses that layup.
Let me ask you a question. If that's Donovan Mitchell going to the hole, do they call that foul for Mitchell?
Oh, they probably do. Again, you've hit it, spot on with, like, smaller guys get those calls. Like, Dame might have got that call. Smaller guys that kind of fall around. It almost, because you're not as strong, you almost just look like you got hit more than you did, or hit harder than you did than a big body. Kind of like Shaq. Shaq played with those same kind of rules where, yeah, he's bigger. he delivers more contact. He's that you gonna let him receive more contact. So I think that's I think that goes both ways. Dafuski says, I'm from Philly. I can tell you Doc is not playing young guys no matter how bad old vets play. Well, again, that's not necessarily true because Giannis Jackson Jr. has made his way into the rotation, and that was not the case the first 3 games or whatever. So Doc Rivers has found a young guy that he's willing to throw in there in Andre Jackson Jr. I think he's got to find a couple more. He did find one though.
And maybe Giannis should have dunked the ball, man. Go for the dunk.
Yeah, I've said that before multiple times that I think Giannis should just dunk the ball a little more than he does with the finger rolls and the layups. I'd agree with that. I'd agree there.
Yeah, it's tough. Doc gonna have look. It's like when you look at a hip hop artist, right? I give you an example of Benny Siegel. You can't rap the same that you did in 2001 and 2021. You have to. Your stuff has to evolve. The reason why Andy Reid is so successful in the NFL because he's an older gentleman who's found a way to evolve his system. Spoelstra, like you got to make changes. We can't keep running the same system out there and thinking it's going to work. So Doc has to pause on that. I'm not going to play these young guys for whatever reason. And I know it may be the young guys don't listen and they're going to make mistakes. But when we got dudes that have been in the league for 10 years making the same mistakes as the young guys, we got to change this philosophy. And if Doc don't want to change his philosophy, then Doc shouldn't be coaching, period.
I can't say no better than that. I mean, Doc Rivers, he has not been good. Like he is. I think now he's 5-6 games under 500 coaching the Bucks. I mean, it's been maybe 7 or 8. I mean, it's been bad for him. Quick Draw McGraw says, thank you for saying it, Trey. Chris needs to get on the court or find another team. It's just getting silly now. Iron Man Clan says, what would you? Or maybe he's talking to somebody else. Says, what would you call Pat Connaughton? I call him trash, but that's just me.
He was a great contributor to the 2021 team.
Right, yeah. It's nostalgia stuff. Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man Clan says, this is what I can't figure out. I keep hearing Marjan is trash and all we have and all that, but we have core pieces playing 15 minutes and not scoring. Yeah, they all trash. Yeah, hey, Iron Man. A lot of trash going around. A lot of trash. Like the Bucks have to... You know you have overflowing trash. You got to buy another bin to go to the street. The Bucks got to buy another bin for all the trash they got. Like they ran out of the free trash that gets picked up on the street at the end of the week. You need more bins at this point.
We might need a dumpster.
Jay Dizzy says, are the Bucks at the point where we need Ben Simmons if he gets bought out? Hell no. Hell no. How in the hell would that help? Because he can defend, at least run the floor and create what? What the hell is Ben Simmons? See, y'all getting crazy now. What is Ben Simmons going to... And here's the worst thing about Ben. You think Chris Middleton don't play. Ben Simmons get a hangnail. He's done for the year. No.
You talking about collapsing on Dame and Giannis. I mean, Ben is
right.
You 4 or 5 on the offensive end all day, not Ben Simmons.
Right. He just as bad. Well, he probably not as bad as Andre Jackson Jr. on offense, but... Nah, that ain't it either. That ain't it either. It's just unfortunate, man. I was prepared to at least be pot. I was so prepared when Dame hit the shot to just be able to talk about the heroics of the Bucks, and it would have just felt good getting a win. And now, like all of the bad that I was gonna at least be able to let it go for a night and not have to worry about it, and not have to talk about it. We would have got into it, but it wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't have been the same. We could have, we could have. Listen, all's good when you win. And this losing stuff, I can't get. Now you go on Monday night, and Cleveland gonna be fresh Monday. Cleveland gonna have just the same amount of rest as you do Monday. And you back, and you're on the road. So the Bucks.
And they're sleeping in their own beds.
They can't protect. Ready. Yeah, the Bucks can't protect home court. You've lost now every game at home. You beat Philly on the only win you have to your name is beating a Philadelphia 76ers team that had multiple injuries. This is good. I mean, this is as bad. I think I always say you are what your record says you are. They have to be better than this. And you see in the moments where they play with energy that they are, but it's getting to the point now. You're 1-5. Like you're either this is what you are,
Uh-huh.
But again, I haven't seen him with Chris Middleton. So again, but still, like even Chris Middleton coming in and winning a couple games, like it's just not. It's not good. It's not good, and it's tough to watch. And I'm just I don't have a lot of words for it, man. Hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button for us, man. We appreciate you guys watching the Cream City crossover right now. Let's talk about Bobby Portis. Justin, this is your guy, so I'm gonna give you an opportunity to tell me what the hell's going on with your boy Bobby Portis, because right now he's had I think one real good game. He's in a contract year. Last year of his contract, I think if you're you talk about a trade piece. It's a great. And he's not on a crazy deal. I think there are a lot of teams that he helped. Here's the thing about Bobby Portis. I think people get down on him, and I'm down on him too. But I'm just saying, like as far as trade pieces, Bobby Portis helps a lot of teams because if he's hitting shots, because your issue with Bobby is we need a guy to come off the bench to rebound, to play defense, to hit shots. We need a guy coming in ready to do a lot of different things because we don't have that sixth man that's like balling. We don't have one. So Bobby Portis has to be that guy. And really, Bobby Portis really can only really just shoot. He can grab rebounds, but he really just a shooter. I can't think of a team right now, but there are teams out there that just need somebody to come in and hit and occasionally hit shots that don't need a Bobby Portis to be as big of an impact. I think of this in the same vein as a Drew Holiday, where our needs for Drew, because what will inevitably happen is the Bucks will trade Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis will thrive with his new team, and they'll say, "Oh my God, Bobby Portis! How did the Bucks let him go? Did the Bucks just give Team X a championship by trading Bobby Portis to him?" Your issue with Drew Holiday was the fact that Drew Holiday no longer fit the needs of the Milwaukee Bucks. But he is a great addition. Like, Drew Holiday does not fix the problems the Bucks have right now. I mean, now, adding Drew Holiday to this team, yes, but if you were to subtract, Dame from Drew Holiday, yeah, the Bucks would be in the same situation, probably a worse situation. But if you go Bobby Portis to another team where he's not needed to do as much, like Drew Holiday going to Boston, and he's not needed to do what you need him to do, Bobby Portis can be a huge asset for that team. So I think there's a lot of trade value in a Bobby Portis. But right now, the things that you're asking him to do for the Milwaukee Bucks, he's not capable of doing them. He's not capable of going out, and if you told me I need 20, 25 minutes from you, you need to play hard defense. You need to be locked in on both ends. You need to not take bad shots. You need to not be a black hole. You need to hit the shots you take. If you ask him to do all, that's too much for him. His role is too great right now for Milwaukee, and he's struggling.
Yeah, I don't like teams that I agree with you. I think that he has a great fit for the rest of his career in this league, and it's starting to seem like it may not be with our Bucks, and we may be thankful for him. He may forever be our mayor and had a great run during 21, but maybe the time is to not just move on just for the Bucks' sake, for Bobby's sake as well. Yep. I think he's under an immense amount of pressure here in Milwaukee. He's trying too hard to prove his naysayers wrong right now, and he's not in the flow of the game or anything. He looks like he's pressing every game. I'm not making excuses for him because Bobby is got to do it for Bobby, and he got to do it for all that underdog mentality and everything else that he has. But it just doesn't look well right now. I mean, and this is where you would want your veteran coach like Doc to step in because he's been in a role like that at some point in his career, or he's seen players that have to say, "Hey, Bobby, you got to calm down and you just got to let things go and just play." Teams that he might be a good fit on, I mean, I could see him doing well in Washington because they're not playing for anything, so he could just go and get buckets and pad his stats for his next contract. Maybe a Portland, maybe a Los Angeles Clippers coming off their bench. But the thing is, when you look at teams like that, now Washington has quite a few assets that we could definitely use in Milwaukee right now, and you mentioned them earlier.
Absolutely.
I mean, I even think something with Valanciunas may not be bad with this team. Here I go talking about trading up the team now so early in the season, but 5 losses in a row do that to you, right? I don't know what Portland has that we could really use coming back, but I mean, Bobby's a good basketball player, regardless. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Bobby fan. I'm this, I'm that. I think Bobby's a good basketball player, and I think he will find a home somewhere in this league, and he will continue to flourish, and we'll see a lot more 21 Bobby and 22 Bobby before we got into this mix, man. But Bobby, if you and you should be listening because it's the best Bucks post game show there is around. Just take a deep breath and be Bobby. Just be Bobby and hoop, man. We don't need anything else. We don't even need you to be tough. Only be tough if someone goes at Giannis. The rest of that stuff, I don't need the hard fouls. I don't need any of that. I need you to rebound the basketball. And when you get the one-on-ones with the barbecue chicken, make them barbecue chicken. And we don't even knock down a couple open threes. You average 8 a game, I'm cool, bro.
Coach Bele says Bobby has 2 years left. That is incorrect. Bobby Portis he has a player option for next year, so he can take his player option next year. If he takes it, he then be an unrestricted free agent in 2026, 2027. So he has the rest of this year to go, and then a player option that he can opt into next year for $13 million, about $13.5 million if he wanted to do such a thing. Do you know what you can do?
What's that?
Well, if you wanted to, on Wednesday and Thursday nights, you could go to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of the program. Wednesday and Thursday night, everybody, if you're in the Milwaukee area, they are out located on Lakeview Boulevard in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Go there. Wednesday night, bingo. Thursday night, trivia. They are giving away Bucks tickets, section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. That's Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And listen, every single televised Milwaukee Bucks game. Do you know when the next game is for the Milwaukee Bucks, Justin?
Monday.
It's Monday night. You know where they're playing on?
Cleveland.
Well, they are playing Cleveland, but it's on NBA TV, so that's a televised Milwaukee Bucks game. So go down to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Get your $3 bottles and pints during all Milwaukee Bucks televised games. So Monday night, make your way down to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Get your $3 pints and bottles. And on Wednesday for bingo, Thursday for trivia, go ahead, win those bingo nights, win those Thursday night trivia nights, and get yourself some tickets. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. That's Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Proud sponsor and supporter of the Cream City crossover. Like, follow, subscribe, all of that, and some more for you. There we go.
Hey, Trey.
Yeah, what's up?
They got some beer and liquor up in that joint.
They got beer, they got liquor, they got everybody. And make sure when you go, you tell them the Guru sent you. You tell them the Cream City crossover sent you to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Coach
You're gonna need that liquor, bro.
You say you're gonna need it. Well, hey, listen, them $3 bottles of pints, you're gonna need them watching the Bucks because I don't know what's gonna happen on Monday night.
You better stock up, Curly.
Say what?
Better stock up, Curly.
Yeah.
Stock up, big dog. They coming in there.
They are coming. John House says instead of Bobby, why not give another big like Robbins or Smith a chance? I agree with you, John. They can't be no worse. Cannot be any worse than to give those guys a chance. And JD, that's a great point. Bobby was great in 2021 with a deeper bench. We had PJ Tucker, Holiday, Dante was out in the playoffs. But a good Pat, Forbes. That is true. Now his bench is 3. That is a great point, Jay Dizzy, and kind of what I was talking about, and I didn't articulate it well enough. But I think Jay Dizzy makes the better point. That is exactly what I was trying to say. With a much deeper, with a better team, with a team that has the pieces that you need, Bobby Portis is much more impactful in that. When Bobby's got to be the guy, like when it's a collection of guys, Bobby Portis coming in as that sixth man is huge. When you got to be the guy, and that's it, it's a little bit different. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Coach Bell says the Bucks are sucked as the second April team with no picks. The Bucks do have, I believe, the 2031 pick, which they could use that to make a trade, to think about a trade. And I think you absolutely do. There were reports already out that the Bucks were looking to see what they could do. Or at least they were looking at Brook Lopez and seeing what the trade market looks like for him. And I've talked about this before, and we've heard about it before. The Bucks were looking at what happened or what could happen with Brook Lopez prior to that as well. If you recall, over the summer, they were looking at what the market looked like for Brook Lopez. Didn't end up pulling the trigger. And that's the thing for John Horst at this point. Again, we'll see what ends up happening. But you've got to at least think about and figure out, do you, even if it's not the move you want, is this now the time where you pull the trigger? Just because, again, I don't think you can get any worse. Like, you cannot you can't get worse by putting like the man said, Robinson Smith. You can't. And Bobby Portis has just been another guy. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Jess, because the rumor was Bobby Portis for your boy Grant Williams. Would you hindsight 2020? Would you do that?
I don't think we get any better. I mean, we may get a little bit better defensively, but from what Bobby was giving us last year offensively, I don't think that um, Grant Williams at one of those Indiana Pacer games without Dame and without Giannis and just with Chris would produce and put the team on the back the same way that Pat Bev, Bobby Portis did in that game. So no, I don't. I'm
Hold on.
cool.
I'm getting some breaking news is coming in here that Joel Embiid has assaulted a reporter in a locker room. Well, I guess this is about an hour ago, so I didn't see this. They're saying Joel Embiid punched a reporter. When I see it for somebody, Van Lee said it in the chat. Said Embiid punched a reporter. Shams has the tweet out. Says Joel Embiid got into an altercation with a columnist following tonight's game in Philadelphia. Embiid took issue with the recent column that references his late brother and his son. And Embiid, okay, they say he shoved the columnist. No punch. And do you remember? Well, just getting off track a little bit. But do you remember when I was talking about there was an article that came out that talked about Embiid having a son and saying that you gotta tell his son to go to work. Like he talking about he had a son and like the point of it was he was you now have a son and one of the most important things to do now that you have a son, now that you have you fatherhood, you got to teach your son the importance of going to work. And basically bringing up that Joel don't play basketball. So that's interesting. I guess I don't know if this is the first time that Embiid has seen this guy, but yeah, apparently, and I don't see any video right now. I don't see any video or anything that they have, but apparently that's what happened. Wow, Joel Embiid. That's interesting. So listen, man, that's gonna be a nice check. That's gonna be a nice check. That reporter gonna get a nice check. I hope he fell hard when Joel Embiid did what he did. But anyway, that's just interesting that came across the wire.
If they're mentioning his late brother or his son, man, there's just some things, even as a professional reporter, there's certain things that should be off limits. One thing that I'll say about Embiid, man, and I know we all get on him because he doesn't play and stuff like that, but the wear and tear that any NBA player that is 7 foot, 250 plus pounds body takes. I mean, it's easy for me in my 5'9", $150 frame to say you should do this and you should do that. But we truthfully don't know what these players feel. I mean, hell, what Giannis goes through on a night-to-night basis. Sometimes he walks off the court and it looks like he was in a fight at a WWE tables, ladders, and chairs match. So do I wish that Embiid would play more? Do I think that he should play more? Absolutely. But can I fathom what he goes through? No. And I don't know, man.
You gotta play basketball. I mean, I get it. Hey, listen, I agree that that you can't be doing. The article is probably a little harsh on on him. I agree with that, but I mean, again, people are sick of it. It's Philly media. It's the Philly media. And that's like kind of how that goes. And yeah, so this says Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son Arthur as the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says he wants to be great to leave a legacy for the boy named after. Okay, yeah, this is crazy. He often says that he wants to be great to leave a legacy for the boy named after his little brother who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. Embiid has been great at just the opposite. Now in his 11th season, he's consistently been in poor condition. Poor conditioning apparently seems to have delayed his debut this season. Embiid won't play in Wednesday's opener for the next 2 games. So yeah, it's a little much when you. I agree, Coach Belly. He does cross the line there and makes the points that he shouldn't have made. But his overall sentiment isn't incorrect. Like Embiid should be playing basketball, but yeah, that's he shouldn't have made those. He crossed out his comments. He really should apologize. But Embiid's got to be a better professional as well. So like I said, there's going to be he gonna pay out some money for that one. I'll tell you that. So hopefully it was worth it for whatever took place there.
And in fairness with conditioning, that's something that is of his control, though.
Oh, 100%.
The same way to shout out to the chat now for jumping on me saying I'm 5'9", 150. I run a lot and I'm a golfer and I walk a lot. I'm just sorry. I can't help it. I can't put on weight. I know you were that at 18, but you know, it is what it is.
Just in great tip-top physical condition, I tell you that. Let me get back onto the Bucks. Sorry, I appreciate whoever that was, Van Lee, calling us out on that or letting us know that Embiid punched the reporter. I checked out the story, so really good job. That's why we appreciate the chat, man. I think again that was important. That was important enough for us to kind of take a pivot because that's an interesting story. That's gonna be a big storyline as things continue to progress in the NBA. But yeah, Bobby Portis, I haven't. It's just finishing up on Bobby. All of those things, man. Like nobody's wrong. I think everybody's seeing the same thing. And the question is John Horst seeing the same thing? Is Doc Rivers seeing the same thing? How do you change? Like how do you change this? And again, you're now 1-5, and you got to figure something out quick, fast, and in a hurry before this thing goes off the rails. And it's just November the 2nd. Like you need a win bad. And the question to me, all eyes turn to Chris Middleton. When is Chris Middleton coming back? Because I think Chris Middleton's back. You win this game. Chris Middleton's back. You probably win Chicago. I know the other couple games got to some blowout territory, but even if you're at that point, you're what's that, 3-2 or whatever it is, and you're at least in a much better situation, feeling a little better. But right now, you continue losing basketball games, and it's just there's so many things that are going wrong. Like this team does not play like a team. But beginning, the only positives tonight, Giannis and Dame. But there's just so much wrong with this basketball team right now, man. I'm at a loss for words.
I think we see Chris on Monday, man. Like we're at that point in the season where we gotta have you. Like we need to see our full team start gelling together, like we mentioned earlier. And if your ankles are 85 or 90% or whatever they are, and again, I've never lived through ankle surgery that this guy has lived through, so I'm not questioning his heart or anything like that. But we just need Chris Middleton. This team needs it. Well, you just said it perfectly, Trey. We win. We're 3-2 at a worst with Chris Middleton right now, or 3-3, whatever the record is. We got to start getting together and playing and gelling. If he's playing 1 every 3 or something like that, and working his way to 2 out of and no back-to-backs, and I'm even cool with that. When I said at the beginning of the year, I wasn't going to get concerned in January. I still stand by that, but I never in my wildest dreams imagined that we would start 1-5. I don't even know the last time.
I don't know either.
We were 1-5.
I don't know either. That's crazy. Medical Drug just says if we're relying on Chris to return, then this season's over. You were always relying on the return. The difference is we were relying on him to return to try to win a championship. Now you're relying on him to return to try and win some games. Like that is the difference. But you always needed Chris to return. Like the Bucks were not a championship team without Chris Middleton. And as we know, I think Giannis and Dame's not enough. You always going to need Chris. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the league. There's just more stuff going on with this.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
So when Chris comes back, do you think Bobby, Pat, DeLon Wright, and some of these other guys play better? And here's what I'm gonna liken it to, right? You go back to baseball, and if you're missing your setup man, if you're missing your closer or your 6th inning guy, and you get that in, and your bullpen gets into its full realm of what it can be, then the entire pitching staff is better. So can we see that same type of effect with Chris Middleton kind of getting everybody in a better role?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think you could definitely see a lot get better. I think it's because when you look at those bench lineups, instead of it being Giannis and bench or Dame and bench, it's Giannis and Chris and bench. It's Chris and Dame and bench. It's Chris with the bench, maybe a little bit. You just have some more things to balance other guys out. So yeah, I definitely agree that you could see a much better bench. You can see much better bench play due to Chris coming back. You'd also see some minutes get cut. You could definitely see somebody's minutes going to get cut when Chris is coming back. So I definitely agree with that you hear, or at least those guys play a little bit better due to the spacing that Chris creates and the shot making ability and playmaking ability Chris creates. Because Chris actually, you talk about assists. I mean, Chris can put up assist numbers as well. 4, 5, 6 a game. Just like I said, when it's 2-man game with Giannis, he's probably Chris Middleton's probably one of the best passers on the team. He has some what the hell you got going on passes that he throws as well. But he's a pretty good passer as well. So. I definitely think that Chris impacts the game and could make some of those guys play a lot better, and just adding to your depth that we were just alluding with, that Jay Dizzy was talking about with that as well. Quick Draw McGraw says, "Damn that! I'm questioning Chris Middleton's heart, pride, and basketball integrity." See, that's what Embiid hit the reporter for. Quick Draw, you questioning heart, pride, and basketball integrity? Don't run up on Chris. He might have something for you now. He might have something for you. But yeah, I to answer your question, I think that does help, honestly. Let's do some game balls here. Just a couple game balls. We'll give them out. You know me, I gotta go. You gotta win to get in for me, so I'm gonna give my game ball to Donovan Mitchell. 30 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and a game winner. 11 for 25 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, and a beautiful, like I said, game winner pull up midi over Gary Trent Jr. to win the basketball game. Cavs win at 114-113. Game winner and game ball goes to Donovan Mitchell.
So, I mean, the obvious two, we could obviously go Dame and Giannis, right? And I think JT said on the last show, Giannis has so many of them, he can't fit them in the closet, your closet, my closet, and all the chat's closet and whatnot. I'm gonna give. Can I give 2 game balls? I'm gonna give one to the actual one to the actual guy that's on the team, and I got one other little special one though. So first one, I'm gonna go Taurean Prince because I feel like he impacted the game on both sides of the ball tonight. He rebounded the ball well. He played good defense. He did everything that we asked him to do, and I feel like from both sides of the floor, it was his best game in a Bucks uniform. My second game ball, I want to give to my son down there at Troy University, his first homecoming. Them boys finally got their second win of the year.
There you go. Game balls going out to the family. I love it, and shout out to your boy. I hope he's doing well out there at Troy. So that's good to hear, and good stuff, man. Very very fun. Game balls going out to a couple people there. Good deal. Like I said, you can do whatever you want to do with the game ball. You got to win again for me, but at least like I said, you gave one out to a winner, Troy University getting a dub. Let's do a look around the NBA tonight. On a Saturday night, the Cavs winning 114-113. Miami Heat are up 101-87 over the Washington Wizards. The Suns are up 93-77 right now in the fourth quarter over the Blazers. Nuggets are blowing out the Utah Jazz, maybe the only team worse right now than the Milwaukee Bucks. The Utah Jazz are 0-5, 57-53. Cleveland is up on the Thunder at the half. The Celtics continue their winning ways, 113-103 over the Hornets. The Raptors beat the Kings 131-128. And I don't know if you saw this, but Drake had a lot to say about DeMar DeRozan, and Drake not only had a lot to say about DeMar DeRozan, but he also told him to get the F off the court after the game, and so they got a little beef going, DeMar and Drake. The Grizzlies beat the 76ers 124-107, and again, following that, Joel Embiid knocks out a reporter, and the Spurs went 113-103 over the Timberwolves. They're both teams 3-3. And the Warriors, 5-1, beat the Rockets 127-121. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to stop you in a bit. So, first of all, the Miami and Washington game is in Mexico City, too. I just thought we'd throw that out there.
Yeah, it is. It is in Mexico City.
But, Drake, you're not a hooper, bro. You can't tell this dude to get the F off the court. And I know you in your bag because he was up there crip walking on the Not Like Us stage. And he played in Toronto. But, bro, that's not your arena. You're an ambassador for the team. Who's our ambassador? Is it still Rico Love?
I have no idea. We have an ambassador?
Like, it was Rico Love at one point, but just how? How do you open up your mouth? You're a fan just like the rest of us. You can't tell that man to get off that court. And he did more on that basketball court than you've ever done on the basketball court. We ain't talking about the arena now. We talk about the basketball court. It'd be like him going and grabbing a mic and telling Drake to get the F off the stage.
Right.
That's not his place either. You got to
Right.
stay in your lane, bro.
I agree with you, man. Drake is a character, funny guy, man. He's a funny dude, and like I said, that's why Kendrick Lamar watched him. So I get how that goes. Ohio State got a dub today. Miami got a dub today over Duke. They're staying. Miami's 9-0, first time since 2017. Will Howard and Ohio State get the 8th straight dub over Penn State. Some other teams went down. The Wisconsin Badgers got absolutely mollywopped as well. So that was tough. Hunt Jackley says it's a Jazz, so maybe we can get Kessler for depth. Doubt it happens though. I'm not sure. That'll be interesting to try to figure out what you could do, how you can make how you could acquire that. South Carolina got a big win today too, 44-20 over Texas A&M. What do you think about the Packers tomorrow? I know you said it's your birthday weekend. You think they might be in some trouble. What you got going for Green Bay?
So if it was the following weekend, I think they'd win. But this has been a torment of my life. I can't remember when any one of the teams that I cheer for have won on my birthday. So I hate to say it, but I'm going to put a little bit of money down on the Lions. That may help our Packer fans out because I always lose in the bets. I lost my 25-leg parlay tonight, $1 for 185 because I needed one Bobby Portis 3. That's the way it goes. So we go bet strong on the Lions and hopefully I lose some money.
Betting on Bobby Portis is crazy. So I don't know if that's the move anymore. You see. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. Someone say Evan Williams is out as well. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Panthers and the Saints. So that'll be I gotta go, and this is gonna be interesting to watch. I guess see if the Panthers want to hold on to Bryce Young. I don't know how that's gonna end. We talked about. Well, I don't know if we talked about on. Did we? Maybe we did talk about it a bit. I can't remember if we talked about it. Maybe, I think we did about the. I think we did talk about Anthony Richardson tapping out the other day, which was crazy work. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to. I'm at a loss right now. What's gonna happen with my Panthers? I think we're gonna get an L tomorrow as well. But it's always fun to just stay in the saddle, see what's going on. What do you think about that last thing, and then we'll get out of here? What do you think about Giselle getting got the jiu-jitsu man and pregnant with the jiu-jitsu man's son?
Hey, once some people filed them papers, they could do whatever they want to do, man. Like you can't tell her.
They were doing it before they filed the papers.
Well, he sent her on up to Green Bay and sent her packing. So she free to do whatever she want to do with it, man. Like she would have stayed with the dude that she was cheating on him with, allegedly. She don't want to stay with him. That's up to her, man. I hope she has a healthy pregnancy, and I hope that the baby comes out healthy, and just don't run up on the baby if it's a jiu-jitsu stuff. You might get pie out for real.
Yeah, that's how it might go, man. 114-113. Cavs beat the Bucks. Any last words or any last thoughts on the Cavs and the Bucks? And then of course the Bucks play the Cavs again Monday night. Any thoughts there?
Man, I just think we got to come out with the same energy, play a little bit better defense. Hopefully Gary Trent is knocking down more shots. Your role players tend to play better at home. Torian Prince would prove that. No one else did. So hopefully these guys will pick it up, man. We need to bond together and find a win, though. Shout out to all you folks in the chat, all you folks on Twitter, man. Really appreciate you having me, Trey. It was awesome to rock out with you tonight, and man, it's up starting Monday. We got to get these wins going.
It's gotta be. I'll let the Twitter have a couple more comments here, and we'll see where they're at. Jared PB20 says our top 2 is legit, but our bench needs to be reshuffled. Simple as that. We got too many guys can't provide on a nightly basis. Jump_Pierre says Bobby Portis has to go. Less Pat minutes, more AJ minutes. JP Davis 1982 says great game tonight. They'd be 5-6-1 or 5-2 if they play like that all year. At Michael JM 608 says shouldn't you hold for the last shot there when you know you can't get stops? That's an interesting thought. Before we go, did Dame go early? Do you think he went early?
I think he went early because remember the Cavs had a foul to give there. So if you got the look And who knows if we'll ever get that look again.
Yeah.
It's only 10 seconds left. So if you got any of your confidence in it, let that thing go. Because we should have arguably a defensive player of the year conversation guy the last couple of years, Brooke on that end. You got Giannis, who's one's defensive player of the year, and you got two other dudes on that floor who's supposed to be 3 and D. So shoot the ball when you shoot it, and we need to lock up. We need to strap up better.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Shot by Mitchell too, by the way.
Oh,
no shade to him.
That's a good point. At the Geek Freak says Bobby has to go. We have no shot. Continuously sells every game. And I'll just do a couple more here. At Girl Dad Ben Fish says it's time to rebuild. At Kirk36 and a bunch of numbers says Torian Prince is the only stable role player. The rest are a dumpster fire. And then we'll give at B Heavyweight 12551 the last word. He says this is a playing team. Giannis and Dame damn near killed themselves. Giannis and Dame damn near got to kill themselves just so we can stay competitive. Depth stinks, and they've made a complete mess of the coaching situation. Feel bad for Giannis. Got to spend the rest of his prime playing for a shit show organization. That's it. We'll give him final word here. Well, I'll take the final word. I think it's gonna be tough. You got to come back. You got to try to get a win Monday night. I don't know. I'm watching this thing, and it's. The wheels are falling off. Who did the Bucks? Let me see who the Bucks have after. Let me see who they got after.
I think Utah in the mix somewhere, so maybe
they need that. Oh man, the Bucks have Utah on Thursday night. Man, that's gonna be great. So if they got Cavs tomorrow, and then they got if they lose to Utah, they lose to Utah, I'm just gonna cancel the show. I don't know what to tell you. There's no reason to have a show. We might as well. Cream Street Crossover might be folded if they lose to Utah on Thursday night. So again, you have an opportunity. If you could beat the Cavaliers Monday, you go in Thursday night, beat the Utah Jazz, you're sitting at what? 3-6 again, not huh? Oh well, yeah. If you be 3-5, and and you be really. Well, damn, but then you got the Knicks and the Celtics right after that. But still, you can start to see this thing maybe start to turn around for you if you can do that. So let's end it there. Again, appreciate everybody for watching. If you can, it'd be very nice if you would like this stream. If you could subscribe, and if you could, please tell a friend to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. We do this after every single Milwaukee, but just about every single Milwaukee Bucks basketball game. Have some fun with you guys. This program has been sponsored by Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Go to Curly's, get your wings, get your beer, get all that good stuff. Go out there Wednesday, Thursday night for some bingo, for some trivia, and win some tickets to Bucks games, and hopefully they'll play better when you are in attendance. Again, also show up there Monday night, get a televised game. Gonna have $3 bottles of pints out there in Pewaukee, Lakeview Boulevard, in Pewaukee. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Man, we appreciate everybody for watching the show tonight. You guys are great. You guys been awesome. Appreciate the chat. Appreciate you on Twitter, YouTube, wherever you watch Cream City Crossover. I know for the people watching tomorrow and the day after, I know you're going to have some fun as well watching us get into it, the Cream City Crossover. Appreciate you, Justin, for helping us out. Again, holding down the fort, us two in the mix, doing what we do. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Trey Crosby III.
Justin.
Hey, man, don't take no wooden nickels. If I am your enemy, it is only because I